welcome back to Dancers Doing Stuff. I can't believe this is season 2, episode 10. Like, where has the time gone? It's like, that's so cool. I've gotten to do so many episodes, so thank you so much for being here and watching and coming back every week and listening to the podcast and supporting me. It means so, so much. Today, I have a really, really awesome guest, my friend Maria Papakonstantinou. I hope I said it right. I practiced so many times. We're going to see if I said it right when she comes on. But I am so, so excited to have her here. She was a ballroom dancer, like super competitive, like all the sparkles, everything, killing it. She's done all types of dance. She does culinary arts. She's in grad school right now. And she also works for Fox News. So, like, literally, what doesn't she do? I don't know. Like, I don't know how she balances it all. But something that I love about her is that she has a passion and she goes for it. And she tries different things. And she is always doing so much. So, I can't wait to talk about all of that. But as always, you know, we like to hype up our guests and show a little video of them dancing. So this is like, I need to ask her more specifically about this ballroom style because that is one type of dance that I know nothing about. Like, I don't know what the names of the types of, you know, steps are and all of that. So I'm really excited to talk to her about ballroom because that is something that I know nothing about. So let's check out this video. So fun, and like that rooftop view, like to die for. So without further ado, let's bring in our guest. Yay! And let me unmute you because every week I mute the guest. So sorry about that. You are unmuted now, so thank you for being here.
Thank you. Thanks for joining, or thanks for having me. I'm super excited to be here tonight.
Yay, I'm so excited. And also our craft. So we're going to start
Yes.
right off with the craft. And because you are like a chef in the making, I thought like something food related, but not like with food because I'm not in a kitchen. But we have these mugs and we're going to try marbling them with nail polish. So my nail polish is like probably expired, and I think after this I should throw it all away probably. But all you need is nail polish, a mug, and then I have this like Tupperware full of water, and I am going to just, you won't be able to see it, so just use your imagination, okay? And I am going to put the nail polish like on the top of the water, like, so don't dump it too hard because then it'll sink, but just kind of like lightly pour it on. And then I'm going to use this like plastic knife, or you could even use your finger if you don't mind getting nail polish on your finger, and swirl it around into like a marble pattern. And then we're just going to dip our mug in and see what happens. And so I don't know if this is going to work because I think my nail polish is expired, but we will see. So let's go for it. I'm a little nervous. A lot of the crafts lately have been fails, so I'm hoping that this isn't a fail. Okay, some of it is on the surface. How's yours looking? I'm using like a blue vibe. What colors are you using?
I have blue and white, so it's like a Greek vibe, the Greek flag.
Ooh, I love that. And your family is from Greece, right?
Yes, so we live that typical American dream, having my parents come overseas on the boat when they were 20 and kind of making a name for themselves um, that way,
That is so
coming to
cool.
America and making, try to make a life for them here. And so obviously they're children and they're extended family gets to flourish, but they were the first ones to come over for sure.
Wow. Have you gotten to go to Greece and like see everything and
Honey, that instead of going to Disney World, like we would go to Greece. That was our summer vacation. So
oh my
yes, we
God.
Greece
That's
is
like I have
gorgeous.
that on my vision board of like, the beautiful white little hut. What is that? Is that Santorini, I think? Is that what the
Yes.
one that everyone wants to go
Yes.
to? I'm sure there's so many other places in Greece that are like gorgeous besides that, but that's the one that
Oh,
everyone
for
has on their
sure.
vision board.
It's gorgeous for sure.
Okay, so I just poured like a whole load of nail polish in this Tupperware. Maybe this nail polish
Okay.
isn't so bad. I think maybe I could use it on my nails. So now I'm just gonna kind of swirl it around and like marble it. Let's see what happens. And then I think I'm just gonna like dunk my mug in and see what is gonna happen. This is like a low stress craft. Some of the ones we've done recently have been like very, very high stakes and they've turned out very poorly. Okay, so here's the before, and
Let's
I'm gonna
look.
try it. Okay, and now you just pull it out. Okay,
Oh my goodness! I
wait,
love
that's
that.
actually so cool. It kind of looks like a little raggedy on some parts, but it's actually really
Wait,
cool. Oh
that's
my
so
God.
cool.
And
Wait,
if you
that's so
want to make
cool.
it more like sturdy, obviously like you wouldn't put this in a dishwasher, but you can cover it with Mod Podge and you can use it like on your shelf or like a little dish. I mean, I didn't put any
Wait, that's
around the edge,
beautiful.
so yeah. Wait, this is actually like good. I'm honestly
Yeah.
shocked. Wow, I really didn't expect that to go well. So that's
So,
exciting. What is yours looking like?
so we forgot the water. So mine, I'm just painting the cup with nail
Oh,
polish.
oh, I love that
So I'm making
though.
it my own. It's so fun. It's cool. I might have to go back
Yeah,
and kind of maybe listen and follow
yeah.
the directions next time.
No, I love that. And you can still keep painting while we chat, but I know sometimes it's hard to multitask for myself. So
Same.
I would love to start off talking and hear a little bit about your journey with dance and like how you got into it, how you started. I would love to know that story.
Yes. So, I was my first dance class was the typical ballet, tap, and jazz when you're 3 years old. My sister and I were 13 months apart, so we were always in dance classes together. We did the whole studio, we did the competition dancing, and then when I was about 14 years old, we were traveling nationally and winning all the titles with the studio and
So
competition
fun.
dancing. But a lot of the judges were like, Maria, like you don't have technique. You have talent, but you don't have technique. So at like 14 years old, I was like, okay, I'm gonna dedicate my, I guess, career starting out my career. Okay, let me get into ballet. So I got into a ballet conservatory in North Carolina, and then I did the whole summer intensives at American Ballet Theater, Boston Ballet. Like I was full force in it
Mm-hmm.
from like 14 to 16. And then we have to be realistic with ourselves because we are 16, we're about to be an adult, we're getting older. Is dance going to be your is it going to be your profession? Is it not? And I had to think of myself, or I had to take a step back and be like, okay, what is emerging? And right at that time, it was so you think you can dance, and it was about partnering, and it was about Oop, oop, oop. Hold on. Where did my
I
headphones go?
swear the
Oh, there we go.
earphones just try and like escape out of your ear. This is something new
There we
for
go.
me. I got these for my birthday and like I think my body's rejecting them, honestly. It's like a bit
Same,
weird.
same. Well, we are back.
We're back, we're back.
Um, we are back. So can you guys hear me?
Yeah, you sound great.
Okay, cool, 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 cool. So basically, I was 14 to 16. I was doing all the summer intensives, and basically they were like, Maria, your body type is not your classical ballerina. I was 5'1". I was short. I was more athletically built, more compact.
Mm.
And at that time, it was still you want to be 5'7", you want to have that aesthetic. And I didn't have that. And so, so you think you can dance. They were talking about partnering. They were talking about this new dance style of ballroom. And I think it's always been here. Obviously the history, it goes back, but I think for the mainstream through So You Think You Can Dance was the initial of like, ooh, this is this style. So
Yeah.
then I was like, ooh, let's try partnering. Let's try ballroom dance. Let's like try this
Wow.
world. So I had one class, I was 16 years old, and because I had competitive dancing, I did the summer intensives, I had all this experience already. So I kind of just used that to, you know, merge quickly and have my skill set be easily transferable to ballroom dancing. And what ballroom dancing is, it's basically you have two main styles. You have either Latin or American. Ballroom
Okay.
dancing it's international. There's the Russians. There's you know the Blackpools in London. It's a very international style. And so when the dancers, professional dancers years ago brought it to America, they kind of changed it with American style. And I think the main difference is when you're dancing, Latin is with straight legs, and American rhythm is what they call it, is with bent legs. And it's like, you have your cha-cha, you have your mambo, you have your rumba, you have your bolero, you have your samba, you have all these different styles and these different dances. But the four segmentations of ballroom dancing, when someone says, I'm a ballroom dancer, that means you have knowledge and you've danced in standard, which is your classic, like, up, the
Ooh,
beautiful ball gowns in London and like
I know.
living your gorgeous Cinderella life.
I need
And
to
then
fix
there's
my
international.
posture.
Yes, all of that. High raise, all of that. And then there's international, which is like your, rumba, your samba, like your bachata, like the very like international. And then there's American rhythm, and American smooth is the styles that I competed in. So I had my first
Okay.
lesson in ballroom dancing. I was like, let's stick to American, let's not do international. So I have knowledge in standard and international, but I didn't compete in it.
I see,
So
I
obviously you
see.
want to be a versatile dancer, and you want to be a dancer who can kind of do all four styles. And so within those four styles has the different dances like mambo, rumba, bolero, all of that. So then I had my partner. He was a professional. I was an amateur at 16 years old. And basically, we traveled. Mind you, I was in high school at this time, and you can ask all my friends back at home. I did not go to high school. It was an online little class, and it's a da da da, a do do do, and
You
we
were
would call it a day.
ahead of the times with the online
Yeah,
classes.
thank you. Yes, I
You're
actually
a
think I was a
trendsetter.
pioneer. Yes,
Yeah. See?
yes. And so then I was traveling with my pro partner at the time. We were traveling, we were winning titles for American Rhythm and American Smooth. We won all that. We won the world. We won the national. And then at 19 years old, I turned professional in ballroom dancing. And then I
Cool.
moved to the city, New York City. I got my undergraduate degree at Pace University, and then I was dancing at Broadway Dance Center, like number one studio in the city. And I did ProSem, did the training program, and just took class regularly. And then since we're 25 now, so we've aged
You're
and
young. You're
matured.
young.
So during the past 5 years, I will say dance has kind of been on and off, and it wasn't so much. I think I kind of retired, I guess you would say, as a professional ballroom dancer when I was 24, because that's when prior to the pandemic, like right at the pandemic, I broke up with my professional partner. So that's like
Uh,
my trajectory of dance. I've always danced when I was a kid. I did the different styles, like you said. I trained at Broadway Dance Center. I did the auditions. I did all that. But then, as far as making it a career, I had that in my younger 20s. And so when it
mm,
came to now, we kind of transferred all that discipline and determination and passion and everything for art, but for television, for media, for production. So I still think that's a little bit more creative than accounting or a banker or all those like
totally.
science like majors and things like that. So that's my trajectory.
Yeah, I love that. And I was wondering what is, I know you said you were an amateur and then you turned professional. I
Mm-hmm.
feel like there's definitely like a certain, oh, Siri wants to turn on. No, thank you. There's like a certain definition of like what determines, I guess is my question,
Mm-hmm.
an amateur versus a professional when you're in the like competitive ballroom world.
Yeah. So I think as the ballroom industry, I was not aware of this until I was in it. Obviously, like, for BDC, you're either commercial, you're a modern dancer, you're a ballerina, basically. You could be versatile and you could, get hired for all these things, but you have to be segmented.
Yeah.
Segment, yeah, that's
So,
the word. I
yeah,
might be making
that
the word up,
works.
but it's okay.
It works.
Um,
I understood.
Thank you. Thank you. So basically, in the ballroom world, you can have an amateur and an amateur, meaning that neither of them gets paid to teach ballroom dancing. And then
I
you have a professional and an
see.
amateur, where the professional who is gaining financial gain by, teaching the amateurs how to realistically dance, how to do these dances, all of that. And then there's professional. And that's just basically, both professionals can be teaching, can be dancing, can be paid to make performances, to be introduced, invited to these competitions, to these shows, to all of that.
Wow.
So I graduated, I guess, from Pro Am because I was a world titleist. I was a national titleist. So the only way up was either you quit or you move on. And so the moving on,
Yeah.
was becoming pro. And you're certified within the community. You have to take tests, and you have to, um, obviously there's a syllabus and all of that. So there's like the logistics aspect of confirming you're a professional in the industry. And so
Wow,
basically
that is
you are a
so cool.
registered professional ballroom dancer versus in our industry. I mean, yes, you can get awards and you can go comps and you could be a choreographer and you can have all these credits, like whether it's like television or commercial or even Broadway, all those
Yeah.
different aspects. But ours is literally a certificate of like, oh, you are
Wow.
a ballroom dancer, professional ballroom dancer for you know, the organization.
Wow, that is so cool. I had never knew that it was so like official like that. It makes sense though. I
Mm-hmm.
feel like there's some things where like with some ballet teachers, there's like the SAB training or I think where like you're certified to teach this specific class and that, but it's interesting where the rest of dance there's not really like a anyone can be a professional if they say they're a professional kind of thing. So that's really
Right.
fascinating about the ballroom world and like I
Mm-hmm.
mean the ballroom world, it is just that, like it's such a world like with the costumes and like the hair and all of that. Like you must have some crazy costumes. Where did you even get those costumes from?
So I will say the industry, I know I feel like a lot of people say when it's culinary or television or, dance or, it's so small knit. It's such a small community. And basically everyone knows everyone, and basically
Wow.
they have businesses within the organization, the community of ballroom dancers that profits by selling or sponsoring ballroom gowns. And you could be invited, let's hypothetically, you could be invited to London and showing off this beautiful dress, and then a
Wow.
amateur is going to see you and be like, oh, let me buy that. So then that's how they kind of make that profit
Wow.
within it. So like there's
It's like
sponsorships.
influencers.
Oh, honey, I think ballroom dancers were trendsetters. Like, it was
Seriously.
literally influencing the younger or the amateur aspects that makes the bulk of ballroom. It's not professionals by large. It's
Yeah.
amateurs, because amateurs can start when you're a child. To They have literally, it's called Ladies C, and it's literally ladies who compete amateurly with their professional dance teacher from like 55 to, I think it goes to like 80. I'm not joking. I'm not joking.
Wow, that's amazing. That is
Mm-hmm.
so cool. And like
Yeah.
I the one of the first experiences I ever had with ballroom or like being exposed to it. Have you seen the movie Mad Hot Ballroom with like the little
Yes.
kids in New York? That's something that I think in New York, I don't know if it's still a program, but I think don't like
Yeah.
some schools have like ballroom dancing in their schools. That is so cool. We did like
Mm-hmm.
the hoedown like square dancing in my schools, like nothing like that. I wish we had had ballroom. That would have been fun, but I probably would have been scared to like touch anyone because I was one of those kind of kids who like didn't want to touch anyone. But
Yeah.
that is so cool. So I love that. And then I know you did like other styles when you were growing up, and then you like really focused on ballroom. When you got to New York, did you kind of, is that when you started to just kind of go back into all those other styles and like try everything out?
Yeah. So honestly, it was because of the program that I was in. You basically had to choose. I remember you had to choose between like ballet, and you had to take your 4 concentrations, or you had to do hip hop or commercial. And
Yeah,
like
and
you
there
had
was
to
no
basically
ballroom
put.
concentration.
No, there wasn't. They had ballroom classes like salsa, and like they had a couple of those, but it still did not make its headway that it has in the industry. I mean, it's now everyone knows ballroom, but like back in the like 5, 6, 7 years ago, no one did.
Yeah,
So I think I was conflicted because I'm a ballroom dancer. I have all these titles. I'm a professional, but how do I make that my specialty? And
yeah,
honestly, now looking back, you that's your special that was my specialty. You create from there. You start there. You don't start in the mold that all these choreographers and these people and these mentors that you dance with, even your colleagues. But since I was so young, I was like, oh, I need to be their mold. I'm your
mm,
dancer. Tell me what to do. Let me show you my body. Let me be the body that you need. Versus, hi, I'm Maria. I'm a ballroom dancer. This is what I can do. What can you make? How can we collaborate together to make a piece that celebrates both of us? And I
yeah,
think I lost that. I lost that.
yeah. I think that that is something that's so, so relatable because I think, especially when you're a young dancer, you move to New York, you move to LA, you move to a big city, it's like you are so hungry. And it's like, it's not like another industry where there are like, these are the exact steps you like corporate, which we'll talk about later because I know you've had some experience with that. It's like you start
Mm-hmm.
here with these are the skill sets that you need to have for this job. It's written out very clearly. You start here, you climb that ladder, and there is obviously a ladder in the dance and arts world, but it's like it could go like this, it could go like this, like it could go like this, like it's not something that there's no clear way. And that's great in one way because everyone can have their own path, but it is really hard, like you said, to go into this world and to like be so hungry and then forget who you are as a person and forget that you have something to bring. You don't have to change
Mm-hmm.
yourself. I mean, obviously we need to get better, we need to train, we need to
Mm-hmm.
hone our craft, but I think that that's something that I see so much and I experience myself where like you try so hard because like you said also with like ballet and stuff, like I know I've talked about this on the show before a little bit, but like my training is mostly like ballet and modern, and I did a lot of jazz, and I did all the styles, a lot of tap and everything, but like I did a lot of ballet. But it's like when you get to a certain age you have to realize like I'm not going to be in a professional ballet company because I'm 14 and my butt is not going to fit in those tutus, like
Mm-hmm.
it's not a bad thing. I mean, it's bad that that is a thing that determines, and I hate that like body type determines certain things, but that is
Mm-hmm.
still the way that it is in some places. But I think it is like
Mm-hmm.
we spend so much time trying to like fit into other people's boxes, and then something that we were talking about yesterday before the interview, it's like it's really hard not to think and like feel bad about oh, if I had only known this when I was younger, and maybe this could be different in this. And we said yesterday when we were talking, it was like, well, maybe we needed to go through that because would we have been able to absorb that lesson at that age? Maybe we had to go through it and learn from it in order to absorb that now as older dancers and older people in the world. So I know that was a long tangent, but I
No,
100%
you
agree
made
with what you
valid
were saying.
points. Yeah. No, I 100% agree with you as well, because that's the lesson at the end of the day. You have to, stand by your who you are, and you have to bring that to the room. And I think that, as young dancers, it's nice to have that reminder of, okay, you're going to be you and you're going to dance like you, and you don't necessarily have to. And I think that's the lesson, is like 6 years, 7 years now, self-reflection, obviously, I could have been, hi, I'm a ballroom dancer. Let me serve you. And I think things would have been a little differently, for sure. Because you see a lot of people doing that now. People appreciate that. And I think that obviously the industry changes and it molds and it meanders and it's all of that, ooey gooey. And it's like, how do you find your way?
Mm. Yeah, and it's like it's something else we talked about is like it's so hard when your art is so connected to your identity. And like even so much so as like the type of art, like the style of dance that you do becomes so much your identity, and when you stop doing that or if you change that, it's like we've had these talks where it's like, okay, well, who am I if I'm not taking 6 ballet classes a week? Am I still me?
Yeah.
And it's like, yes, of course you're still you. That's just an aspect of you. And that's why I do these shows and these crafts and these things, because there's so much more to a person, but it's so hard in this world, in this industry where we're so like, you must focus, you must hustle on one thing to be the best at it. And it's like, people are so much more complicated than that. And dance and art is so much more complicated. So, we got really deep there. I don't know. It's because it's the late night show.
Yes, that's welcome. 9:20 on a Wednesday.
Yeah. Amazing. Well, I think it's the perfect time for our first game. So let me get my little Amazing. So it is time for Would You Rather. If you are watching live, we'd love to have you guys comment. We can actually add the comments to the screen so we can see what you guys are up to. Kate gave us a little heart. Natalie gave us some hearts and she said hi. So fun. So we are going to do some Would You Rather. It's nothing too crazy because it's a pre-made game, so it's not going to be so scandalous. But I would love to see, if you're watching live or even the replay, what you would rather. So let me randomly pick these. Some of them are really weird. Okay. I'm trying to pick like new ones that I haven't done. But it's very hard. Okay. Okay, now pick a red one. Let's see. Pick a red one. Okay. Would you rather cry 126 tears each time you see a car, or fight off a horse-sized swan every time you go to the restroom?
Honey, I would cry.
I would be crying all the time.
Yes, that's my choice.
I 100% would also pick crying, because I definitely do cry way more than 126 tears probably every day. You know, it's a good release. So, I don't know. I think that's... I support crying, everyone. You heard it here. Okay, let's pick another one. Let's see what we get. Ooh. Oh, oh wow, this one's kind of wild. Okay. Would you rather have explosive diarrhea every morning when you wake up? It's the late night show. Or have a body made entirely of cutlery?
All right, so I'm into culinary, so I'm gonna have to have the body of all cutlery and knives and like, you know.
Yeah, like you would just like, you could like cut. You wouldn't need any of your tools. Like you could just literally cook everything all the time. That would be so easy. You'd save so much money.
I don't even need to go to culinary school now.
Yeah, because you are culinary. You're cutlery.
Yeah.
Okay, let me see.
Wait, what about you? What was your choice?
Oh. I think I'll say the cutlery, because the diarrhea is aggressive.
It's a lot, even on a Wednesday.
Okay, last one. Would you rather have feet that smell like rotten fish, or have to sleep upside down hanging from a tree branch, whatever the weather?
I guess it's gonna be the fish, because maybe put some like stuff in your nose and maybe you don't have to smell it. So maybe
Yeah,
that
and like I
that
bet
could work,
like
right?
you could like probably find like deodorizing spray. Like
Yeah,
it doesn't say that
something.
you can't like take care of it every day. Like, you
Right.
know? But the
I guess we're
sleeping
gonna go to
upside
the candle
down,
shop.
just like
You know,
cover your feet in like deodorant.
candles.
There's got to be a way. There's got to be a way.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
I would definitely pick that too because I couldn't sleep upside down. Like especially in
Mm-mm.
the winter in New York. No, thank you.
No, no,
No, definitely not. Okay, and
no.
I want to share some of our friends here. They picked cry, they picked diarrhea, so they're on the same page. Well, diarrhea that was and
But
that was
yeah,
not on the same
it's
page as
okay.
us.
Each to their
But
own.
we support you. We support you. We support
Mhm, mhm,
you.
mhm.
Amazing. So, I would love to talk about your passions outside of dance and get
Yeah.
into a little bit about culinary school, grad school,
Mhm.
working at Fox News. Like, how did all of this happen? Tell me all
Yeah.
about it.
Thank you, thank you. So I think it still ties into the story of dance. My story will always start with dance. It's just who I am. It's everything I am is because of dance. So that's has to be thrown out there. So I was still struggling with the fact of like I did graduate college in 3 years just because I wanted to be like kind of done and like start working. And so I wanted to find that industry that's still connected and creative. And being in production, it's basically whether you're, the talent or not, you're making a live show happen. You're making this project happen. And so that's creativity. And so as a dancer, as an artist, that gave me comfort because I was able to still be a part of something that was larger than me, but then also be a part of something that produced something every single day. So I had my first taste of a successful television show, daytime, was with Dr. Oz. It was his
So
season 11.
cool.
And that's where I kind of fell in love of like, okay, this is television, this is production. Ooh, this works. This makes you want to get better. You want to learn more. You were talking about being hungry. You could be hungry in a different aspect. And I think that
Yeah.
was the first taste of that. Ooh, maybe I could do something else besides dance. And I think that was that first door of like, here's television production. So I did
Yeah.
Dr. Oz. That
What
was a
kind of
really cool
stuff did you
experience.
do on Dr. Oz? Like
Yes.
what even happens behind the scenes?
Yeah, so I was, I guess you would say technically I was a full time production intern. So what does that mean? That means I would deal directly with, there were so many departments. I would just work with post production, pre production, even during live shows. At the time pre pandemic, they had live audience members. And so I would deal with the audience department. I would deal with, field shoots, trying to go to like interview a random stranger about how they felt about yogurt, or a different field shoot on like these different segment ideas that the producers of the Dr. Ross show would come and create. I would be a part of that journey of like, okay, maybe you're helping out, maybe you're this, maybe you're shadowing, maybe you're gonna cut some video, maybe you're going to interview the people, maybe you're gonna ask people to
So
come in
cool.
and come watch the show. So I think the responsibilities varied, but the good thing about being, I guess, the intern was that you were able to see all sides of a successful live television show. And
Yeah.
so that was a really cool experience. And then
And is his
I,
show, is it like every day? Like, or
yeah.
is it like once
Mm-hmm.
a week? Like, it's like you're just constantly going, constantly moving, like no rest with that kind of job,
So
right?
yeah, I will say more so in news, so we'll definitely like hop over there. But he is a pre-taped show. I think we did one or a couple. We did a couple live shows where there were special guests like Oprah Winfrey, and at that time years ago, they had other guests like Donald Trump before he became president. All of that. So we had like those high level guests where there would be like live shows. And then for the most part, it was a pre-taped show, meaning like I think it was 3 times a week we would tape 2 shows a day, and then they would go to edit, and then they would edit all out, and then it would be
Wow.
like in your local like listing, whether it's 4 p.m.,
Right.
2 p.m., 11 p.m., depends on your time. So that was a pre-taped show. And then I moved over to NBC Universal, and that was my first real job out of college. And so
Wow.
for that, I was a booking producer. And so with that, I was booking a lot of these guests. For that particular show, the show was trying to persuade these guests that they were guilty of something. Like the show is kind of Jerry. Have you guys heard of Jerry Springer show?
Yeah.
It's that whole vibe. So think of
Oh,
that, but then
so
think of like,
hectic energy.
yeah, hectic drama, all of that stuff. So I was
Oh
just
my
booking people
God.
trying to clear their name. But with that whole, so I worked for the whole season. That was my first job out of college. But with that, that actually gave me the tools to be persuasive, to be heard, to be listened to have authority. So Dr. Oz was this beautiful dynamic of learning how to become a beautiful, like, successful television show. And then NBC, I was able to actually, okay, you're making the shots, you're making the moves, you're making the pitches, you're getting the stories. You're obviously, you have, you know, your synopsis and what you need to do and all of that. But at the end of the day, it was you, and you had to come forward and like bring that work every single week. And
Wow.
then about 3.5 years ago, we this was, I don't, the timeline, girlfriend, I don't even have, so please
I
excuse
know.
me.
What is honestly
But
what is time anymore? Like we don't know.
I
It doesn't exist. It's a
I don't
construct.
think, like, I don't understand
We're
it,
living
but
in a
that's between
simulation.
you and me.
Yeah.
Um, so once I left NBC, I loved all the work. I loved my boss. Everything was such a great experience. I knew that I wanted to work um, uh, in an election, regardless of who won, who the candidates were. I wanted to work in election. I thought that would be the next stepping stone on my resume.
Yeah,
And so
that's such
why I
good
moved.
learning experience. Like that is like go go go. Like
Yes.
whoa.
Yes. So then from NBC, I went to Fox News, and I was a booker for them, and I work for Neil Cavuto. He's a moderate on our network, so he's, you know, fair and balanced always. That's the message, and it's been a pleasure to work for him. And I've grown so much as a professional. And so I've been booking. I found my niche in booking. Basically, that means you are
So
the
cool.
media management of these guests that has certain POV or a certain story that needs to come on the show to talk about it, talk about the
Cool.
messaging. So, you know, dance, we our bodies is the story. And, you know, my job is booking the story and booking the guests that fit the story. So it's all relatable. Like, it really is.
Yeah.
If you think about it, the trajectory, it's all relatable. And so then now I'm actually in grad school at NYU.
Crazy.
What is it? Go Bobcats!
The beautiful purple. The purple.
Yeah, the purple, the white, like, beautiful colors. Like,
yeah.
beautiful. Love them. So I'm getting my master's in public relations and corporate communications. And that's more so just, you know, expanding my network. And, you know, again, going back to the whole immigrant story, my parents didn't have an education. They didn't have that opportunity. And so it's always been, my parents kind of always ingrained in me, like, when you have education, no one can take that away from you. And so I grew up with that idea, that principle. And so I now have the privilege and the opportunity to go to school. So why not? And that's kind of coincides with why culinary. So master's, great, PR, media management, basically, like I'm telling you, being the producer of the message. That's whether it's dance, whether it's food, whether it's, you know, corporate, Fox News. And so then culinary, my dad, we own restaurants back in North Carolina. He
So
is
cool.
basically my hero, my inspiration. He is everything I want to be. He, you know, he inspires me so much. And so when it comes to food and culinary, is more so like, if you can get an education and you can learn how to cook properly, why not? In dance, if you could train with the best and be with the best choreographer and go to all those auditions, why not? So it was also of that mentality of like, okay, if you want to be the best, you have to be in the room with the best. You have to fight for that spot. And so in culinary, it was more so of like, well, I want to, you know, be able to cook. I want to be able to, like, take the recipes my father, you know, grew up having and, like, kind of make them my own. So obviously with the pandemic, dance kind of shifted in my life. And so I think I had to step out and kind of find another way to be creative. And I found that I could be creative with my hands. And culinary is a visual art. If you look at it,
Mm.
we look on Food Network, we look at pictures, we look at Instagram, we look at all these. What is culinary? And what it is, it's a visual art. And when you
Yeah.
taste it, it's intimate. When you're eating out with your friends, it's the experience, it's the story. And that's the thing, is
Mm.
whether dance, culinary, PR, any of that stuff, it's all related, because it's about the message, it's about the story. And I think that's, whenever I do anything, we talk about passion, we talk about dedication, it always starts with my why, and it starts with the story. What story am I
Yes.
telling? What chapter am I going to open? What paragraph am I rewriting? And I know it's all a little like philosophical and like, like
No,
this
I
like
love
gooey
that.
emotional stuff,
I'm here
but
for
that's
that. I'm
how,
here for that.
yeah, that's how I operate. So I'm furthering my education so I could, learn how to cook right, learn how to, you know, take on my dad's recipes, like a legacy, take on that legacy that he created.
Yeah.
Um, so that's
Wow,
why
I
I'm
love
in
that. And that's setting
culinary.
yourself up for the future. That's setting like that's another thing. Like if you know how to cook, no one can take away that from you. And like you can be creative. That I mean, cooking is so creative. It is an art form. Like, wow, I'm not good at cooking and so I am so impressed whenever I see you with like your chef outfit on. Like you look so
Yes.
official and like it's crazy also just your dedication of just going and getting it and like some people would be like, "Oh, I'm in school. I'm too busy. I can't work." And you're like, "Oh, I'm in school and I'm working full time and I'm going to also just like go to another school." Like that is so inspiring. So I love that.
Thank you.
Are there any
Thanks.
other things that you just love that you don't maybe do as
Mhm. Mhm.
seriously? I mean, I know you
Yeah.
probably don't have any other free time, but what
No,
are
I
some
know, I
of your
know.
other passions?
I definitely like to bike. Is that weird? Like city biking?
Oh,
Like if I could like not take the subway, not walk, not Uber, I would just bike. So I literally bike everywhere.
wow.
Actually a funny story, on like one of the first weeks I was at Fox, I was like, let me ride my bike to work. Like that we're a working professional. No, that's when I had like my first like hit the sidewalk, and then there's all these cars coming, and I'm like, am I ready to like trans use transport, like public transportation, as a bike to work? I don't know about that. So I still do it leisurely, just because New York
Yeah.
City traffic is crazy.
I could never. I mean, if I'm being honest, they say you don't forget how to ride a bike. I am proof that that's a lie because I when I was living in England, I went to visit my friend in the Netherlands and of course there's like bikes everywhere there and she was like, "We could bike places." And I was like, "I genuinely don't know if I can do this anymore." And I got on the bike and we were like, "No, this is unsafe. We will walk." And so I would never in my life ride a bike in New York City traffic. Shout out to anyone who does that. You are the most brave person in the world.
Right? Those people,
Literally, I
they're
don't know
kicking
how they
it.
do it.
Mm-hmm.
Amazing. Well, it is time for our next game. Question time. So it's less of a game and more of just like a surprise. We don't know what's going to happen.
All right, I'm ready.
So, these questions are loosely categorized. Some of them are more deep, some of them are like funny, some of them are silly, some of them are emotional. So you can always pass, but I'm going to pick randomly one from each color and we'll see what we get.
Okay.
Okay. I hope they're new. I always try and like get the ones out that we've already done. Ooh, okay, that's a good one. That's a good one. I'm okay with that one. Let's see. Sometimes I veto them. Ooh, that's a deep one. Okay, okay.
All right, I'm ready.
Ooh, a lot of these are really deep. Okay.
Let's dive deep on a Wednesday, right?
I know. We're really getting into it. Okay, so tell me which color you would like to start with.
Orange.
What do you collect that no one knows about?
Like the wine bottles?
Like mini wine
Like
bottles?
no. You know the wine bottle topper thing?
Oh, like to put it in after.
Cork. Is it the cork?
Oh, yeah, cork.
Cork. It's the little. Yeah. So like for like New Year's or like a big celebration, like I would always save those. So like my family for New Year's, we all were together, and I saved it, and apparently it's good luck.
I love that. That's so cute. You could do crafts with that if you wanted, or just like
Put it
keep
in a
them.
vase. Like a
That's
beautiful
cute.
vase with the seashells that you picked from the beach. Like mix it up. Crafty.
Ooh, you have all the answers today, girl. Okay, next color.
Blue.
What do you fear about getting older? Ooh.
That's good. I fear that I have not done enough.
Yeah.
I just, whether it's going to be my family, my career, my personal endeavors, just feel like I'm never going to be able to do enough because I'm always hungry for more. So it's that catch-22 of like when you get older and then all the accomplishments. So I think it's not being able to do enough.
Oof. All right, next one.
Purple.
Ooh, okay. When was the last time you completely lost yourself in something?
Ooh, honestly, Sunday was my first time taking class in a really long time, like 365 days. And so I prepped improv before I took class, and then when I got home, I improved again, and that's when I lost myself. But then that's also where I found myself. And that's why it's so, like, the timing of this was so special to me because I was able to reconnect to basically what was living in me and what still lives in me. And it kind of is like my vibration. And so I think that that's where I totally lost myself.
Oh, I love that. And that's something we talked about yesterday too before we were live. It's like sometimes like being a dancer is we talked about like identity as being like, we shouldn't make our identity a dancer. But at the same time, on the flip side of that, the positive side of that is I think once a dancer, always a dancer. It is something that is inside you. Even if you don't dance for a full year, if you sat in your house because of a pandemic or because you had to make money or, something happened, whatever, if you have that in you, you are still a dancer. And it's so true, like we were talking about, like there's been times where I'm just like, I feel so off. I feel crazy. I don't know what's going on. And then I register. I haven't taken class in 3 days or now it's like 3 months. So it's like, and then you take that class and you dance and you realize that that is something that's part of your soul. That's something that is deep in you and it doesn't go away. And so it's like being able to remember that and that it's always there for you, even if you can't always be with it. It's so great when you have those moments where you can come back to it. So, I love that. I got chills when you said you lost yourself in dance because, that's why the arts are so essential to the world and just to life in general. Like, what's the point of the world and life if we are not creating art and appreciating art and living our life through art? And I could go on and on, but we have our last question.
Sister. Yes, let's go.
Okay, this one's kind of funny. When was the last time you washed your jeans? Or when was the last time you wore jeans in my case? And I can't tell you that because I don't know.
All right, well, you're gonna laugh. You're ready? This is gonna be like a 3-in-1. So no, this is gonna be a 3-in-1. So this is so basically everywhere since I've lived in New York City, like even at Pace, I had a dorm and they had like, what is it? It's like valet. They had valet. They had cleaning, like you had cleaning service for your clothes in every building that I lived in. So technically in New York City, I've never done my laundry.
What? That is so crazy.
I know.
Do
But
you
yeah, so it's
wash your
like a great order.
jeans? Like, do you wash your jeans after you wear them one time?
Ugh, no, girlfriend. Like, no. Who has time for that? No.
I know. But you know what I've found? Not to like make myself sound gross, but like
Okay,
before
tell
the
me.
pandemic, I feel like I would, like some clothes I'd be like, oh, like I only wore this one time, it's okay. And then after the pandemic, and I was like, these pants sat on the subway. I'm ripping them off as soon as I get home. Like I'm like grossed out more. So I don't know, maybe like this is like for the rest of my life I will be changed from the pandemic because I've realized how many germs are around us all the
No,
time.
that's such a good point. See, I don't even think, I don't know.
But I'm
That's
like my
such a good point.
jacket, but because it's been winter, I sit on my jacket. So it's like
Hmm.
my butt area of my pants is protected from my
So
jacket,
after
but
this, I'm gonna go clean up all that, and because I don't
wash
even know what's
everything.
touched. Like so much COVID. Like where
I
is
know,
it? I
yeah,
don't
gross.
know. Yeah,
Gross.
yeah.
Okay, so our last question is
Yes.
what brings out your most creative self?
I honestly think it's inspiration, and you can find that only if you're present. And
Mm.
I think inspiration comes small, it comes big, it comes through nature, it comes through something, through a thought, through a lyric. Inspiration is all around us, but only if you're open. And I think that that's the work that we have to do if we want to be, or in my mind, I think that's the work I have to do in order to be receptive, to be able to find this inspiration. Oh my goodness, Madam
Attack of the
Amelia.
AirPods, I'm telling you.
All right,
They have a
we're back.
mind of
Are we
their
back?
own. We're
We're
back.
back. Okay, we're back. No, I just think it's like being present, finding the inspiration, and I think that inspiration is gonna lead and kind of go with the flow of how creative and open you're gonna be, and how authentic your creativity is going to be without blockage, without
Mm.
the exteriors infiltrating and trying to be like da 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 da. But when you're open and present, you're here, and you see that inspiration and you go with it. That's when you're the most creative.
I love that. Okay, well, where can people find you if they want to get in touch?
Guys, find me. No, it's a really long last name. I'm never gonna change it. You just have to learn how to spell it. It's gonna take like 100 times, but we're gonna find it.
I love
No,
it.
I'm on all the social media. I think it's what is it? It's Instagram, it's Facebook, it's LinkedIn, it's Twitter, it's TikTok. Yes, TikTok dances.
Ooh,
Let's
ooh,
go.
ooh,
Yes.
ooh.
I think it's all MK Papakonstantinou. It's just MK
Oh my gosh,
Papakonstantinou.
you say it so amazingly. I butchered it earlier. Papa
No, you
Constantino.
did such a great. Yeah, you have it. It's you have it.
My
But
downstairs
yeah.
neighbor growing up, they were from Greece. So I got to eat
Uh,
some really great food and like have some really fun holiday adventures with them.
oh, I love that. Oh, I love that. But yeah, no, you can follow me. It's Maria Papakonstantinou, and then all my handles are the same. And I appreciate this. My time with you was just so nice, so giving,
Yes.
so free, and I appreciate you. And I'm so happy we reconnected and stayed connected.
Yes,
And we can
definitely.
talk dance. We can talk everything that bothers us and what makes us what celebrate. What we can celebrate and what brings people together. What brings all of that. So I appreciate you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. You didn't have to be so nice. And then, yeah, if you guys are watching the replay, if you've made it this far, or if you're watching live still, definitely make sure to subscribe here on YouTube. Essentially Haley. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers, so that would be great. And then also, of course, make sure you check out the audio version of this podcast. It is Dancers Doing Stuff on Apple, Spotify, Castbox, Google, something, whatever, wherever you get your podcast, it should be there. And definitely make sure you subscribe over there. There are mini episodes most Sundays where I give you a creative challenge for the week and just like talk myself really quickly about like some stuff that I'm thinking of. And then, of course, we have the audio version of this show and all the other shows that come out in a few weeks. And then, what else? Definitely check out the Instagram. I'm slowly rolling out some stuff from our shows, Dancers Doing Stuff over there. And I just launched the Patreon for this show to help support the show and support dancers, because hopefully when we get to 100 subscribers on Patreon, we'll be able to start the Dancer's Dream Grant program, which I'm really excited about. And if you want more information on that, definitely check out the video I posted on YouTube about the Patreon and what the perks are and all of that stuff. So with that, thank you so much for being here. This was so fun. I'm excited to see how this mug dries. I'm honestly, I'm very
It's
impressed.
gorgeous. Yeah, so
like
pretty.
maybe I have to do a few more. I'm really I'm very impressed with this craft. I thought it was going to be a fail because my nail polish looked so crummy, but it came through. Shout out Essie.
Yes.
Amazing. Well, have a great night, and it was so fun talking with you.
You too. Kisses.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.